In today's video, we'll be talking about some fragrances that focus on the note of tonka bean. If you're interested, then just keep watching. Hi, my name is Ayesha from simplyayesha.com. Here on YouTube, I make videos about fragrance, beauty, luxury, and lifestyle. If those are things you're interested in, please subscribe. And if you are a returning subscriber, hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. So today's video will be focusing on a group of fragrances that feature the note of tonka or tonka bean. A lot of fragrances feature the tonka note. However, the fragrances that I'll be talking about today, I feel like the tonka is quite prominent. So these are the fragrances that I consider to be tonka scents. So the tonka bean is out of South America, and tonka beans are actually the seeds of the tonka tree. So the scent that they give off in perfumery can be quite different depending on the fragrance and the other things that are in the fragrance. So generally tonka can come off a little bit vanillic, so it has a little bit of a sweetness to it. It also has some nuttiness to it and some depth. So usually when you compare like a vanilla and a tonka, generally the way that I can tell the difference between them, and I cannot always tell the difference just by smelling them, but generally the way that I can tell the difference is, to me, tonka usually has some sort of nutty nuance. To me, it kind of smells like almond, but it can smell like a roasted nut as well, like a roasted pistachio, and that is combined with the sweetness and with the spiciness. Also, I have found just from personal experience that tonka generally comes off a little bit less sweet than vanilla based scents, generally speaking. I mean, of course, there are all different types of vanilla and they all have their own properties. I'm just talking about, like, generally speaking, if something is sweetened by tonka, to me, it typically smells less sweet than if that same fragrance would have been sweetened by vanilla. Hopefully that makes sense. Anyway, we're gonna talk about quite a few fragrances, so let's go ahead and get into them. So this first fragrance is from Dior, and this is Feve Delicieuse. So this fragrance is the first fragrance that I really experienced that made me know that I love the smell of tonka. So this fragrance is all about tonka. This one is sweet, it's nutty, it is warm, it's thick. It definitely has a bit of like a cherry nuance to it, an almondy nuance to it. And then at the top of this fragrance, it also has a lavender note that gives it a bit of an aromatic edge. Now, I know for a lot of people, Feve can come off masculine to them, and I believe that is mainly due to that lavender opening. I will say though, this is one you definitely have to try on skin. Unfortunately, it's currently discontinued, but it was just recently discontinued, so you'll probably still be able to find this, you know, if you're lucky. And I really wanted to mention it because to me, this is my go-to tonka bean scent. I feel like a lot of people are familiar with it, and I feel like me talking about this discontinued fragrance can also kind of help when I talk about the other fragrances to get an idea of what they smell like. Anyway, Feve is gorgeous. You definitely have to spray this on the skin. I find that on my skin, this definitely warms up, it sweetens up, it's cozy. It does get a little bit powdery, and for some people, I've heard that this is so powdery that they can't wear it. But for me, it doesn't get that powdery, but there's definitely a powdery element to this fragrance. So if you're not into powdery scents, this is one you would want to test before like blind buying it, but it is so good. To me, this one is gourmand, but not a full-on gourmand. Like, it has that sweetness. It smells like it is food derived, but it doesn't smell completely edible. This one is like my hug in a bottle scent. This is my rider's eye tonka scent, and yeah, definitely had to start out with this one. Again, that's Feve Delicieuse from Dior. This next fragrance is also discontinued, so I wanted to go ahead and get it out of the way. This fragrance is from Maison Margiela Replica line, and this is Lipstick On. Now, this one has kind of been long discontinued, so unfortunately, if you don't have this, you're probably not getting it. But again, I felt like it would be good to include in this video as a reference point. And again, this is another one of my favorite tonka scents. So Lipstick On, to me, is more of a sweet, kind of waxy, lipsticky smell mixed with tonka. It has a little bit of powderiness to it. And overall, to me, it kind of gives off a vintage vibe, but in a good way. When I think about this fragrance, it kind of gives me the vibes of like an old Hollywood starlet, like sitting in front of her vanity mirror, putting on her red lipstick. And I love that sometimes. This fragrance also kind of smells like it has a bit of cherry in it. Even though I'm pretty sure cherry is not a note, I feel like the Tonka in here kind of leans in that cherry direction. And it kind of smells like there could be a little bit of almond in here as well. Overall, I find this one very easy to wear. It's not as thick or heavy as Feve Delicieuse. It's actually sweeter. I find it to be a feminine scent, and I really enjoy wearing this. This is actually my second bottle, and y'all just got my first spray out of this bottle. I had this as a backup, so that's why it's full. My other one is gone. But unfortunately, if you don't have this by now, you're probably not gonna get it, but some of y'all do have it, so wanted to talk about it, pull it out, get some use out of it before it goes bad. So again, that is Lipstick On from Maison Margiela Replica. This next fragrance is the reason that I decided to make this video, and this is from Guerlain. It is Tonka Imperial. Now, this fragrance, before we talk about how it smells, I want to let you guys know this one is being discontinued as well. And I don't know what's going on. I don't know if like, I have no idea why they're discontinuing this, and then and Dior discontinued Feve because they are one of their most popular scents from each respective house. However, this one is being discontinued. I purchased this one in a Guerlain boutique. You can still easily get this. However, while I was purchasing it, the sales associate there told me it was being discontinued. And then I've also heard from like other people on the internet say that their local sales associates told them the same thing. So I believe them. Guerlain is good for discontinuing stuff. So I would say that if you're interested in this, you should go ahead and get it now, because if you wait, you're not going to be able to find this at like regular retail price. I mean, sure, you can go on eBay and probably buy a bottle for twice the price once it actually is fully discontinued, but why do that when you can get it now? Anyway, I love this, y'all. So this is a fragrance that has been on my wish list for forever, but I never wanted to blind buy it because I always figured it may be too similar to Feve, which I already had and loved. However, they are similar, but they are different. This one to me is a lighter, airier take on the same Feve DNA. So again, you get that nutty sweetness. To me, it kind of smells like there could be almond in here. I don't really pick up any cherry nuances per se, like I do in Feve, but the almond is definitely there, and sometimes almond and cherry smell alike to me. This one is slightly powdery, but it's not too powdery. It's not as powdery as Feve. This one to me also kind of smells like it has a tiny bit of like a leathery background to it. I don't think leather is a note in here, but when I smell this, to me, it kind of gives off like a luxurious leathery background to that like nutty sweetness. It is gorgeous. I find that this is the type of Tonka fragrance that I feel like I could wear this year round. I actually wore this yesterday. It was cold yesterday, but I felt like this fragrance could go anywhere with me. I am actually really, really loving this, and I'm glad that I took the chance and purchased it, because I was able to smell this in store. So I did purchase it in person, but even when I purchased it, I was still like, is it too similar to Feve? And I wasn't smelling them side by side, but I'm telling y'all, it's not. So for me, this is going to be one that I could wear a lot more. It's going to be an easier reach for me than Feve. And although I love Feve and it's always going to have a place in my heart, this one is going to be like my lighter, easier to wear version of it. And I absolutely love this. This is a little bit spicy, but it's not too spicy. It's not too much of anything. It's done in that typical elegant Guerlain way. I'm here for it. So again, that is Tonka Imperial by Guerlain. The next fragrance I have is from BDK, and this is Velvet Tonka. Now, I do have a video all about this fragrance that I did when it was first released, and if you want to know like a full review of this fragrance, definitely check out that video. I will say, if you're gonna watch that video, I do feel like the performance got better. So when you get to the performance part, you know, take that part with a grain of salt. I do feel like as I've had this fragrance for like 2 years, the performance has gotten a lot better on me. Also, my layering and my spraying has probably increased as opposed to what I did back then. Anyway, Velvet Tonka is gorgeous, y'all. It is gorgeous. So this one definitely is that more gourmand Tonka scent. This one is sweet, much sweeter than the other fragrances that I mentioned. This is sweet in the gourmand sweet way. It definitely still has that nuttiness there, but I don't feel like the nuttiness is as prominent. To me, the nuttiness in this smells like a powdered almond mixed with a very easygoing kind of cherry. I I love this scent. This one does have some powderiness to it. So I would say that if it is hot, this is not one I can overspray because it becomes like too much, as far as sometimes the powderiness can make you feel nauseous, if y'all get what I'm saying. Like sweet powderiness, if it's too much, can make you, or can make me feel slightly like sick to my stomach. So when it's hot, I cannot overspray this, but I can wear it. When it's cold, I can overspray this and just get my whole life on it. It is so good. So I don't find it to be super powdery, but there's definitely a bit of a powdery element to it. And overall, the vibe that I get from this is just warm and cozy. Now, what I like to layer this with, I didn't bring the bottle down here, but I like to layer it with Smoothie Star from Soap and Glory. That one is like a pistachio almond sweet scent, and it layers perfectly with Velvet Tonka, and it really helps it project. It helps it perform better. And I love that combination together. I like to do that when I'm just in like a cozy mood. I've worn it outside of my house, but for me, I really like that combo when I'm like chilling around my house, because it just makes me feel so good and warm. And to me, this is a gourmand, but it is elevated. And if you like sweet, nutty scents, I definitely think you should get your nose on this one. So again, that's Velvet Tonka from BDK. The next fragrance that I have is from Jean Paul Gaultier, and this is Lael Le Parfum. Now, I actually feel like this fragrance is a lot different than the other fragrances that I've talked about so far. This one is a sexier take on Tonka. So what I get when I smell this is a sweet fruitiness. I believe it's pear. And to me, if you smell the original Lael, you know that's like a pear vanilla type of fragrance. This one to me is like a pear Tonka type of fragrance. So the pear is there giving it a little bit of sweetness, but then the Tonka comes in with this nutty vibe, and it's like just very sultry. It's warm, but it's also like a dark scent. I'm not sure if vanilla is also in this fragrance, but to me, it smells like it could be a mixture of like a Tonka vanilla pear type scent, but it's dark. It's deep dark, and I mean, it's not too deep dark, like it's not crazy dark, but this one is one that I prefer to wear at nighttime. It gives me date night vibes. This is not one that I typically like to wear during the day, although it is kind of a sweet scent. I find that for me, it smells like a nighttime going out type scent, or even around the house, but it's just not something that I like to reach for in the day. So I would say that if you like the note of Tonka, but you're looking for like more of a sultry scent, not necessarily a cozy scent, I would check this one out. So again, that is Lael Le Parfum from Jean Paul Gaultier. This next fragrance is from Montblanc, and this is Arabian's Tonka. Now, this fragrance, I have to say, I haven't really been able to bond with this fragrance. I feel like I just haven't worn it enough or wanted to wear it enough. However, I do like it, so I'm not sure if this is one that will leave my collection eventually, but it is a Tonka scent, so here we are talking about it. So this fragrance to me, at first sniff, smells like it has Baccarat Rouge DNA. And I know a lot of y'all hate when I say that or when people say that, but it's honestly true. So you get that airy, like spun sugar sweetness with the ambery undertone. However, this one also has Tonka in here, which gives it that nuttiness. It gives it a bit of depth. It makes it a darker fragrance, makes it a bit more interesting, so it's not like just a Baccarat dupe. This is its own fragrance, and it's gorgeous. I don't know why I don't wear it, but I just haven't really bonded with it. But I do think it's really well done. It projects, it lasts forever, like typical Montblanc. And I know a lot of people complain that Montblanc fragrances smell like metallic or very synthetic. I don't really find that to be the case. I mean, I feel like any of the fragrances that are kind of in that Baccarat Rouge family smell somewhat synthetic, but in a great way. And so I find this to be kind of in that same category. It is really nice. So I would say if you're a Tonka lover and you like Baccarat Rouge, maybe check this one out. So again, that is Arabian's Tonka from Montblanc. The next fragrance I have is from the brand Commodity, and this is Milk, and this is the expressive version. So this fragrance, a lot of people when they see it, if they haven't smelled it, they think it smells like straight out milk. It is not. So to me, this is really a marshmallow scent. When I smell this, I get marshmallow, but I also get this lactonic nature to this fragrance. And I definitely get tonka bean that's giving it this like nutty sweetness. And then there's also like a woody base to this fragrance. So the overall vibe that I get from this fragrance is like a sweet, slightly nutty marshmallow scent. It is gorgeous. I need to wear this more. It is so good. I feel like this fragrance will work for people that like gourmand scents, but you need a little bit of depth to it. And I feel like the Tonka in this fragrance really adds that depth along with the woodiness, but it really adds that depth to what I would classify as a marshmallow scent. Now, I know I said that the fragrances in this video were going to be like Tonka forward, and I made an exception for this one because I actually think this is more marshmallow forward. However, I think the Tonka is important in this fragrance because it really helps to ground this fragrance. It helps to give it interest. I feel like it keeps it from getting like overly sweet and overly girlish. And I really enjoy this fragrance. So again, that is Commodity Milk. This next fragrance is from Christian Louboutin, and this is Luby Prince. So this fragrance is absolutely stunning. To me, when I smell this, I get what smells like a sandalwood or maybe a cedar, kind of a like fresh woody scent mixed with this creamy Tonka. And the Tonka in here to me smells more of that nutty, not super sweet Tonka, but definitely like a nuttiness, a sweetness, some spiciness. This is gorgeous. I feel like the juxtaposition between like the fresh woody scent with the sweet spiciness of the Tonka really just elevates this fragrance. To me, this fragrance comes off as cozy, but also as like date night appropriate. This could go any season in my opinion. It's not too heavy for date nights during the summer. I wouldn't wear it like in the heat of the day in the summer, but during the colder months, you definitely could wear this during the day. It could be day or night, you know, just depending on what your vibe was. But overall, love this scent. I again classify this as one of my like more sensual, sexy Tonka bean scents. So again, that is Luby Prince from Christian Louboutin. This next fragrance is relatively new to me, but it is Tonka forward, so I wanted to include it, although I don't have a ton of experience with it yet. So this one is from EPC, and this is called Tonka Sesame. So this fragrance was sent to me from the brand. I believe I may have a discount code. I'm not sure. Check out my description box. I always have all my discount codes down there along with links to the fragrances. But this fragrance smells so good. To me, it is so unique. So the Tonka is definitely there. It's prominent. So as soon as I smell this, I get that somewhat sweet nuttiness, but also the sesame is quite prominent as well. And to me, sesame kind of gives off this kind of toasted smell. It makes me always think about like toasted rice. If you ever smell sesame oil, you will know it has like a very distinct smell to it. And that is definitely in here, but mixed with the sweet, nutty Tonka, it is just a special scent. Now, this is not gonna be for everybody because I feel like the sesame in this could probably be quite polarizing, but it is so good. I also find that if you like scents like Tonka Imperial or Feve Delicieuse, this to me, the Tonka smells similar in this fragrance, but it's not as heavy and it's not powdery. I don't find this scent to be powdery at all. So if you like the scent profiles of like Tonka Imperial and Feve, but you can't get with powderiness, maybe check this one out. I mean, again, this one has sesame. So if you're okay with sesame, check it out. But this is so interesting. And I'm so glad they sent this to me because I don't have any other fragrance in my collection that smells like this. This smells like delicious kind of, but I wouldn't really call this a full-on gourmand, and it's just so unique to me. Now, like I said, I don't have that much experience with this fragrance because it's a newer fragrance to me. I've only like full body worn it one time, but I will tell you, at first sniff, I fell in love with the fragrance. When I wore it, I really enjoyed wearing it. I can't talk to you about longevity or projection or anything like that, but I do really enjoy this fragrance and I cannot wait to wear it more. So again, that is Tonka Sesame from EPC. And then the last fragrance that I have is Bronze Tonka from Carolina Herrera. So this fragrance, it has Tonka in the name, right? And the Tonka to me is quite prominent. So when I smell this, I get this sweet, warm, nutty scent. This one smells dark. It also smells slightly boozy, and it kind of smells like a little bit of leather, or maybe saffron could be in the background. This one, again, is more of one of those sensual Tonka scents. It's not necessarily cozy. I mean, it's cozy-ish, but to me, this is more like going out, because to me, it definitely has some sort of like sweet kind of fermented fruit or booziness to it. I'm not sure if what the notes are in this fragrance, but when I smell this, that's what it smells like to me. Like a sweet kind of like boozy Tonka, kind of slightly leathery type scent. It's a dark scent. This one is definitely like a cold weather scent. However, I feel like you could wear it nighttime year round. And this just gives off sensual date night vibes. Also, I don't find this to be powdery. So again, if you're not into powdery scents, maybe this is one you want to check out. But this is gorgeous, y'all. This one is really unique as well. So again, that is Bronze Tonka from Carolina Herrera. So those were all the Tonka fragrances that I wanted to share with you all today. Let me know if you've tried any of these fragrances. What do you think of them? Do you like the note of Tonka bean? If so, what's your favorite Tonka bean scent? I think that would be fun to share in the comments as well. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I upload videos every Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday, so I have tons of content you can check out. Also, check out my website. It's www.simplyayesha.com. Over there, I do talk about fragrance, but I also talk about other things that I enjoy. Get on my website over there so we can stay in contact. Also, if you want to connect me more, follow me on Instagram. I'm in my stories almost every day over there, and I love to chat with y'all in my DMs. Also, I recently just got a TikTok, so follow me on TikTok too. Follow me all the places. All these links will be in the description box along with links for all the products that I mentioned. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. See you in the next one. Bye.